The latest trailer for the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was so jam-packed full of details, but something that really stuck out to me were the boss battles. We saw a range of bosses from a familiar three-headed dragon, a huge Zonai-looking mech, plus an insect-looking beast inside a tornado. We've got all that, plus we're very likely to face off against Ganondorf one-on-one sometime in the game. Well, today I want to take a closer look at the bosses that we've seen in Tears of the Kingdom, plus we've got returning bosses from classic Zelda games, and they appear to be world bosses in the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Well, we saw a lot of exciting details in the recent final pre-release trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, and fans and Zelda creators have been poring over the details. It's a massively exciting time to be a Legend of Zelda fan, and it's just over 3 weeks until we can finally get our hands on the game. Well, today I want to focus on boss battles, as it appears we're going to be getting a range of bosses in Tears of the Kingdom. So Breath of the Wild was a great game in many ways, but when it came to boss fights it did feel a little bit lackluster, especially with the Blight Ganons operating in a very similar way each time. I did enjoy the world boss battles in Breath of the Wild with Lynels returning from Zelda 1, and I think we're going to be getting a little more of that in Tears of the Kingdom. I think we've got a couple of categories of boss here, so bosses, world bosses, potential boss fights, and also final bosses as well. Well, let's dive into the trailers and check them out. Well, first of all, we've got this Zonai mech. So a huge mech-like being is coming out of a wall, and it appears as if it's connected to the Zonai in some way, because in the background you can see these Zonai bulbs, which we've seen before, dotted around that Zonai architecture. So the wall it's coming out from is covered in a swirling circular pattern, and this thing looks very, very big indeed. Between its torso, arms and legs there appears to be a flowing energy of some kind, and it looks to be very formidable, and I'm really looking forward to take this one down with Link. Well, next up we've got an insect-looking crustacean kind of beast. On first inspection I thought this was a dragon, although having a second look I think it's more of a lobster or a crab. Although having a second look I think it's something more akin to a lobster. It's got multiple eyes plus a huge mouth full of sharp teeth, and I think we are flying here with Tulin at this point, and we appear to be inside a tornado. So it's very likely we're going to be taking on this boss while we are flying in the sky. So exciting stuff, and looking forward to teaming up with Tulin and taking on this boss. Well, we also see Link running away from what looks to be a shark or a lizard in the sky. I think it's somewhere close to where we were fighting with Sidon. So this beast looks very dangerous indeed and appears to be diving in and out of the Sky Islands itself, similar to how you would move in Splatoon. Link looks like he's doing his best to get away, so it's likely this thing is going to chase you around the Sky Islands. You're going to have to try and get a shot on it from distance, perhaps to knock it out, and then finish it off with your sword. Okay, that's some of the bosses, but next up let's have a look at the world bosses. So we've got a couple of returning world bosses here in the trailers. So we can see a stone talus with a bokoblin camp walking towards Link, who appear to have built a mech ready for that battle. So both the Stone Talus and Link are making their way towards each other very, very slowly. It looks like a scene out of Robot Wars. It's absolutely crazy. We've also seen confirmation that Lynels will return, and this time they've got massive katana blades on their head, and they're very likely to be very powerful weapons if we can defeat them and remove the blades, of course. There's also a herd or a school of Molduga in the desert, where we see the Zonai Zelda-like character battling them with a very powerful energy beam. It looks like she takes out 3 or 4 of them all at the same time. We've also seen a couple of potential world bosses in the previous trailer, so the official trailer number 2. A Hinox is chasing Link, and it looks like he's got a shield on its head, so I'm looking forward to removing that and adding it to my collection of shields. We've also seen Link battling a blocky boss. This one looks huge, and the background suggests this battle takes place in the Sky Islands, so perhaps this is a test of strength early on in the game, in the New Great Plateau or the starting area up in the Sky Islands. So one of the most exciting reveals of the same trailer was the return of Gleeok. So Gleeok was a boss in Zelda 1, although it looks like it's going to be a world boss in Tears of the Kingdom. And in the latest trailer, we got a much better look at this Gleeok with Link facing one head-on. So much like Lionel's return from Zelda 1 to be world bosses, I think we're going to get the same with Gleeok here, and we could be about to get different variants of Gleeok as well. So the one we see in the trailer is a fire Gleeok, and I'm hopeful we're going to get ice and also electric Gleeoks too. Well, that's the world bosses. Next up, let's have a look at some potential boss battles. So we see a shot in the desert with Link running between a lot of sinkholes, and this feels like the perfect place for a boss battle, and fighting enemies in quicksand is similar to a boss fight in Link's Awakening and also other Zelda games as well. This certainly looks like it could be a boss battle location, with the boss jumping in and out of those holes. There's also another scene with a ghostly ship that appears at one point, and again, this could be the start of a boss battle. Looking closely at the image, it looks like we've got more than one ship here, but perhaps we have to fight the captain of this ship in the foreground. We also saw a brief glimpse of what looked to be a fight with a Goron. Now, one of the big talking points from the final trailer was the lack of Yunobo, and perhaps we're battling against Yunobo here. I'm not so sure this is Yunobo though, and I think we may have to go to Goron City and battle against another Goron champion to prove ourselves. Now, I've got a horrible sinking feeling that something has happened to Yunobo, and something not very good at all. Therefore, this could be a boss battle of sorts, or maybe a test of strength to prove our worthiness to the Goron people once again. Well, there's some potential boss battles there, but now let's have a look at the final boss battle. So Ganondorf is back in Tears of the Kingdom, and it's the first time Ganondorf, Link and Zelda have been in the same game since Twilight Princess. That throws up the very exciting prospect of fighting one-on-one with Ganondorf at some point in the game. It's very likely to be towards the end of the game, and we've had epic battles with Ganondorf in the past in Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and also Twilight Princess. Though I've got a feeling this could be the most epic battle against Ganondorf yet. Well, finally, I want to take a look at this character. Some are saying this is Demise. Some are saying this is merely Ganondorf, powered up by Malice. Whoever this character is, there's definitely more than a resemblance to Demise. I do have a suspicion though it's going to be another form of Ganondorf, using his Malice powers and the Blood Moon combined. He's powered up with long flowing red hair. I think the design here is a callback to Demise, but it's just a powered up version of Ganondorf, like Super Shredder from Secrets of the Ooze. Whether it's Demise or Malice Ganondorf, it's going to be an epic boss fight, one that is probably going to end the game in the best possible way. Well, it's an exciting prospect to have major boss battles coming back to Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild did good in so many ways, but the bosses were lacking. It looks like Tears of the Kingdom is going to go in the right direction and give us those heroic, epic boss battles, and I can't wait to battle against all of them with Link. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about boss battles in Tears of the Kingdom. I would love to hear what you think. Well, that is it for this look at boss battles in Tears of the Kingdom, and as always, thank you so much for watching or listening. For more Legend of Zelda content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to Triforce Times. Or you can check me out on Twitter at Triforce Times. Well, if you enjoyed this video or found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, you can check out all the other Zelda videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.